Hi, how are you? Grab a mic.
My mic?
Oh, we need two mics.
Hello. How's it going?
It's going very well. This was your first ever gig in Ireland today.
Not first ever, but first since signing my publishing deal at BMG and like producing new material, not just like acoustic stuff. And first also with Cheryl, who joins me on stage with like bass synth and backing tracks and like just being generally a wizard.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just a bit of background. You're from Wicklow.
Yeah. I'm from Wicklow.
Are you Irish?
I am Irish, born and bred.
Okay.
But I went to school in Dublin and I live in London now. Lived in London the past year. But yeah, Wicklow girl.
Okay. And you're in London now. Okay. So how long have you been there?
Been there for like a year. I'll probably give it like another year, and then I'll go somewhere else. I want to live like all over Europe.
Okay. And how do you find the London scene?
I love London. I mean, I went there to find kind of like how I wanted to do the live setup because we'd written these tracks and we had the production, but it was just me, and I wanted a girl on stage because to me my music is quite like feminist, and I wanted that to be like a visual thing as well. And then I found Cheryl before I'd moved to London, and like stalked her on Facebook and made her go on stage with me. So that was like,
send me a geeky message.
I did. I was like, your profile picture is so hot.
So do you perform together then? I mean, how does it work?
Basically, I sing and do like some keyboard, like piano stuff, and Cheryl controls the backing tracks and bass synth.
And other synths and backing vocals occasionally.
Yeah, she sings as well a little bit.
Okay, cool.
I basically do what Tara wants me to do.
Okay, you're her bitch, basically. That's what we're saying. Okay, that's cool. I dig this. This is going well, yes. You're also an actress.
Yeah.
You've been in The Fall. You've been in A Date for Mad Mary and stuff like that. So how did that come about?
I never liked acting. I always thought dancing was my favorite thing, and then singing. And I just wanted to be David Bowie. And then...
Actually, I think I interviewed you earlier this year and you were in the David Bowie issue, as I recall. That was it, yes.
That was so cool. And I didn't realise, obviously, because we did the interview before he passed away, so I didn't realise that he was going to be, like, front cover. So cool. I think I was 16 or something, and my dance school just started sending me for auditions, and I happened to get cast in this Irish TV show for 2 years and just fell in love with it. So I kind of, for me, like, it's music first, but then when there's a movie or something that like steals my heart, it kind of takes over for a while.
Yeah, and I mean, well, the ultimate ambition is what? Is to be an actress, to be a singer, to
both.
To mix
I think
the two?
they go hand in hand, and it's weird because apart from the movie that we just finished shooting in Scotland, every movie that I've done has had something to do with music, whether I sing in it or whether I write something for it. There's always a musical theme. So I think that comes from me being a musician. They kind of think.
Okay. And your father was a musician as well, yes?
Yeah, my dad's a movie composer. He's great. So he was actually the one who heard me writing songs and insisted that I record them and make them demos. So, yeah.
Okay, so you had a lot of parental encouragement growing up.
Yeah, massively. Okay. Yeah.
A lot of people don't. It's seen as a very risky career.
I know. I feel like I was like too lucky. It was too easy. Like even when I dropped out of college, there was like a mild freak out. But my parents both, my mom as well, are like really supportive.
Okay.
So like, yeah, my whole family is really musical. My brother is a musician as well, so I got lucky.
As a matter of interest, what were you studying in college?
It was actually like a compromise because I didn't want to go to college at all. So I studied songwriting for 6 months.
Songwriting?
For 6 months.
Okay.
Yeah, I went to BIM in Dublin. Which I know so many people who like just loved, but for me, I just was in academia for too long, and I couldn't do it. Also, I was shooting the Irish show, so I was never really there, and I just wanted to go out and do it and just see what happened and take a risk.
Yeah. I mean, okay, we spoke about Bowie a moment ago, but that seems like you're pretty young, aren't you? You're 20,
yeah, I'm 22.
22, okay.
Yeah.
So Bowie's an unusual influence, I would say. Who amongst your sort of the music you grew up with, would be an influence?
My influences come from like so many different genres. Like Massive Attack, I think, were the biggest influence for my new kind of production sound, because I wanted it to be like very atmospheric but quite edgy, and that dueling harmony thing that they do where they have like the high octave and the low octave balancing like equal volumes. I totally like copied that from them. And I love like Lana Del Rey is like a kind of a more modern influence. But I mean, I grew up listening. My parents always just played like 80s music, like Journey and Bon Jovi, and Madonna massively influenced me. Like I used to dress up as Madonna and do the whole routines, and Britney Spears as well, I'm afraid to say.
Really?
When I was 4, yeah. When I was 4, my grandmother bought me this like Britney Spears stage, and there was like this little doll who used to get up, and I was convinced that I was going to be Britney Spears. And then my dad, a year later, told me to write a song when I was bored, and I wrote about a man in space, and I was proper convinced that I was David Bowie.
Okay.
So that took over from that point on. So
And
it comes from all over.
You've just released an EP.
Well, it's gone up for pre-order.
Okay.
So yeah, Paradise. It's called Paradise, and the first single we just came out. So that's Paradise, the title track, and it's available for pre-order. It'll be out in October, but we're going to release different singles from it up until then.
Okay, and then what's it about? I mean, is it more of a vibe, or is it an expression?
For me, it was like a concept sort of a thing where I wanted it to be representative of like the new London thing that I was going through, like that kind of edgy, grimy, like everything is quite surreal, because when I moved over I was so broke and I just dropped out of college and I didn't know what I was going to do. And I think that's like that kind of like imperfection is reflected in the music. And then Paradise, the actual track, was inspired by this night when it was like 6 a.m. or something, and I was walking home from a club with my friend, and I remember just like looking at her and thinking like, we have literally nothing, we don't know what we're going to do, but we're so happy. And so then I wanted to write an EP that was like kind of like one night back to front. And so the first single was Paradise, which is the walk home, and the next one's going to be Narcotic Heart, and there's Burn This Down, Drive, and there's also a version of Soundtrack which my brother produced. He's an amazing producer, so there's like a new kind of a version which fits in with the EP.
What I'm taking from that is that Paradise is your walk of shame song.
It is. No, it's not a walk of shame, but it's definitely a shameful walk. It's like you're like, your tights are ripped, you're sweating, your makeup is running in your face, you've been dancing all night, and it's just like you and your mate walking back. Definitely not a walk of shame.
Okay. Just on a totally separate note, we now have a new Taoiseach in this country, in Leo Varadkar, Ireland's first openly gay Taoiseach. Any thoughts on that? Or perhaps you're not following Irish politics, but
I'm more into like everything that's going on with like Brexit and stuff in London at the moment. But obviously, an openly gay, it's awesome. I think Ireland have like paved the way like big time. Like even a couple of years ago, being the first country to vote gay marriage was like, I was massively proud. And I had moved to London around the time that happened, and it was everywhere. So I think Ireland are so much more progressive and forward than people give it credit for sometimes.
well, with the decades and decades of child abuse to make up for it, but
yeah. Well, all of that is coming out too, so it kind of balances out.
Okay, well, what's next for you in the immediate future? You've just done Forbidden Fruit today. Are you back to London tomorrow? Are you?
I'm gonna stick around in Dublin for like maybe a week or something. But we actually just finished shooting this movie in Scotland called Schemers, which is like this. It was based in 1979, and it's the true story of the writer Dave McLean. And it's like how he got into, he's this tour kind of band manager, and it's how he got into the music industry. So it's like Train Spotting vibe. And Moondogs as well, this movie I shot also in Scotland a couple of years ago, is coming out in the UK. So there's like a lot of movie things happening, and then obviously we're going to start gigging the EP, so gig dates will be announced in the coming days, I think.
Excellent. Okay, Tara Lee, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you so
Cheers.
much.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you too. Cheers.
Thank you.